Dealing with toxic people the Stoic way. Have you ever noticed that a quiet room can feel louder than a crowded one? You sit alone for 5 minutes, and suddenly your mind turns up, the volume: unfinished tasks, old conversations, what-ifs. But what if that same quiet room could become the most powerful space in your life? Tonight, we'll use Stoicism to flip the script, so alone time stops feeling like a punishment and starts feeling like your unfair advantage. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because once you learn this, you'll never look at solitude the same way again. The noise we're trying to escape. Modern life keeps you on a short leash. Buzzing phones, constant pings, calendar blocks stacked like Tetris. You catch yourself refreshing apps you don't even like, just to avoid being alone with your thoughts. It's not because you're weak, it's because distraction is designed to win. The Stoics faced a different kind of noise: politics, plague, pressure, but they understood the same truth. Without a disciplined inner life, the outer world will eat your attention alive. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That line is your anchor. Alone time isn't empty time, it's training time. The goal isn't to silence the world, it's to strengthen the voice inside you until the noise outside can't move you. Alone, lonely, the Stoic reframe. We mix up two very different experiences. Loneliness is a hunger for connection. Solitude is a meal you cook for your soul. One drains you, the other restores you. Epictetus reminds us, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. When you label alone time as sad or suspicious, you hand it the power to hurt you. When you label it as practice, as recovery, as alignment, the same minutes become fuel. Try a tiny reframe. Instead of saying, "I have to be alone," whisper, "I get to return to myself." That one phrase puts you back in the driver's seat. Your inner citadel. The Stoics loved a vivid image: your mind as a fortress, walls strong, gates guarded. Outside, storms arrive, deadlines, traffic, criticism, family tension. Inside, you decide what crosses the courtyard. The impediment to action advances action, Marcus wrote. In other words, the world's friction becomes your training weight. Alone time is where you build the muscle. So when you first sit down and the thoughts rush in, don't panic. That's just the wind testing the walls. Instead of swatting at every gust, notice your breath, let your shoulders drop, and remind yourself, I'm inside, the gates are closed. Give it 90 seconds before you reach for your phone. You'll be surprised how often the storm passes without rescue. 3 quiet powers you unlock in solitude. First comes clarity. When the world is loud, you react. When it gets quiet, you can see. You notice the meeting that drains you, the habit that numbs you, the person you're trying to impress. In that clarity, better choices appear. Then comes recovery. You aren't a robot. Your nervous system needs time without input. 10 minutes of true silence restores focus more reliably than 30 minutes of scrolling. It's like stepping into noise-canceling headphones for the soul. Finally comes direction. Without audience pressure, you can ask, what do I actually want? Not what gets applause, what fits your values. Seneca said, the greatest wealth is to live content with little. Alone time teaches you what that little really is. In a minute, I'll give you an easy way to install this into your day without rearranging your life. First, let's handle the most common fear. When alone time feels uncomfortable. If the quiet makes you anxious, that's normal. You're not broken, you're just out of practice. Think of it like walking into a dark room. At first your eyes strain, then shapes appear. Then you can move with confidence. The same happens with your mind. Here's a simple way through the discomfort. Narrate what's happening with kindness. My brain is offering me worry. I'll let it pass. My chest feels tight. I'll breathe slower. My hand wants the phone. I'll wait 10 breaths. No judgment, just observation. The voice of a steady coach replacing the voice of a frantic critic. Give yourself 2 minutes, then 3, then 5. You're building tolerance for your own inner weather. The 15-minute Stoic solitude sprint. You don't need a cabin in the woods. You need a small, repeatable window. Try this. Pick one anchor time you already have: morning coffee, lunch break in your car, or the 20 minutes after the kids fall asleep. Sit somewhere you won't be interrupted. Set a timer for 15. No music, no podcasts, just you, a pen and paper. Start with 3 lines. What actually matters today? What can I drop without consequence? How will I show up, regardless of what happens? Keep your answers short, almost stubbornly simple. Then sit for the remainder and watch your thoughts like you'd watch traffic. Cars pass. You don't have to chase them. When the timer ends, stand up and move on. You'll notice your day bends toward the clarity you wrote down. In a moment, I'll show you how to protect this time without offending friends or family. Boundaries without drama. Most people avoid solitude because they're worried others will take it personally. You don't need a speech, you need a sentence. Say it warmly and say it early. I've been doing a 15-minute reset most days. It makes me better company. I'll be back in a bit. That's it. No apology, no debate. If someone presses, repeat the line and smile. The standard is set without turning it into a courtroom. Notice the subtext. You're not withdrawing from them. You're returning to yourself so you can return to them better. People feel that difference. A digital detox you'll actually keep. Cold turkey detoxes fail because they fight the phone at its peak. Instead, change the first and last 10 minutes of your day. Put the phone in another room overnight. In the morning, touch pen and paper before pixels. At night, ask 3 questions on paper. What did I do well? What would I do differently? What am I grateful for right now? That last one turns down the volume on anxiety faster than any app you've ever downloaded. If you want a bonus, turn your home screen black and white. It makes the candy less shiny. You'll still use your phone just on purpose. How solitude improves your relationships. Here's the irony. When you like your own company, you stop clinging to other people to fill your silence. That makes you easier to be around. You listen more. You rush less. You don't read hostility into neutral texts or demand extra reassurance after a long day. Because you already met yourself in the quiet, you don't ask someone else to carry what is yours. And something else happens. You become selective in the best way, not snobby sober. You stop saying yes out of fear and start saying yes out of alignment. The result is fewer, better connections that deepen over time. Creativity, decisions, and the walk-away test. Great ideas don't arrive when you squeeze harder. They arrive when you make space. That's why your best thoughts appear in the shower or on a quiet drive. If you're wrestling with a decision, try the walk-away test. Lay out the options on paper, then take a 10-minute walk with no input. When you return, circle the option your body relaxes around. Not the one that flatters your ego, the one that calms your nervous system. Stoicism isn't about zero emotion. It's about disciplined emotion that points you toward the good. In a minute, I'll give you a gentle 7-day plan to lock this in. Soft, mid-roll invite. If these tools help, consider subscribing. I make weekly Stoic toolkits for people who want calm over chaos and power without noise. No fluff, just practices you can use the same day. the 7-day Love Your Alone Time plan. Give yourself 1 week. Day 1, try the 15-minute sprint. Day 2, keep it and add the bedtime 3-question reflection. Day 3, protect your sprint with that single boundary sentence and notice how people respond. Day 4, take a phone-free walk and let your brain wander. Day 5, use solitude to make one decision you've been avoiding. Day 6, spend your sprint writing a letter to your future self, what you want him to remember when life gets loud. Day 7, do nothing but sit in silence and breathe, reminding yourself, I'm safe in the quiet, I'm strong in the quiet, I'm me in the quiet. By the end, the room that once felt intimidating will feel like home base. When loneliness still shows up, even Stoics needed friends. Solitude doesn't replace connection, it refines it. If loneliness knocks, answer it with a simple ritual. 1 meaningful conversation, not 10 distracted ones. Text a friend, got 5 minutes for a real check-in? Share honestly for 2 minutes, listen for 3, and end with one thing you're grateful for about them. Then return to your evening. Quality over quantity, presence over performance. As Seneca might say if he were here, it's not how many people surround you, it's how deeply you stand with yourself when no one does. Closing. So, here's your Stoic blueprint for loving alone time. Reframe the quiet, build your inner citadel, install a 15-minute sprint, protect it with 1 warm sentence, detox the edges of your day, and let solitude sharpen your clarity, recovery, and direction. Do this, and the room that used to make you restless becomes the training ground that makes you unshakable. I'd love to hear from you. What will you try first? The 15-minute sprint, the boundary sentence, or the phone-free walk? Drop sprint, boundary, or walk in the comments with 1 line about when you'll do it. If this helped, subscribe for weekly Stoic tools. And remember, the quiet isn't empty. It's where you meet the strongest version of yourself.